We tired of that. We need something different, something new. We need to shock the people.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row.
Tonight's the night I get in some shit.
Yeah.
Deep cover on the incognito tip.
The very first year, I generated $150 million.
We had to stay true to ourselves, and that's not always easy.
Breaking fools off if I have to, filling gaps too, so you know I'm coming at you.
And the next thing you know, this guy started punching Dre in the face. And
he got hit, right? With a golf club?
Yeah.
Until I get the one who maxing at the top.
I hope you get his ass before he drop.
In the mid-1980s, Los Angeles was divided, socially, economically, and culturally.
The Crips and Bloods have staked out a significant portion of the cocaine trafficking business in this country.
Hip-hop was still dominated by the East Coast. It was during this moment that Eazy began laying the foundation for what would become the most influential independent labels in music history. Before rap, Eazy was known as a hustler in Compton.
Eazy made his money being a street pharmacist at this point.
By being a street pharmacist, you know how to deal with everybody. You get that lingo, that mentality, and by the weight that you're carrying with the amount of product you got comes a respect.
You know, he was a guy in the neighborhood you didn't mess with.
He was well respected. He was well liked by a lot of people. Certain times, certain people have a persona, or we call it like a light around him that seems to draw people to him. And he was that kind of a guy that just seemed to draw people to him. You know, a guy that you could tell was going to be somebody.
Unlike many around him, Eazy saw music as a way out, a legitimate business opportunity that could outlast the streets. As Eazy began building Ruthless Records, he started pulling together the people around him who would shape the sound. Dr. Dre was already producing, DJ Yella was working alongside him, and Ice Cube was brought in as a writer and later a performer. Soon after, MC Ren joined, completing the core lineup that would become NWA. One of the first records to define their direction was Boys in the Hood, written by Ice Cube and produced by Dr. Dre.
Eazy told me to write a song for him. So I wrote a song called Boys in the Hood.
I talked Eric into doing the rhyme. The song was Boys in the Hood. He was like, yo, I ain't never rapped before. I can't do this. So I eventually talked him into doing it.
And so Dre says, why don't you do the song to Eazy? And he says, I can't rap, man. Come on, what are you talking about? And Dre says, come on, try. You're paying for it anyway. Might as well try it.
And I looked at E and I was like, look, man, why don't you say it? He's like, man, I don't know how to rap. I never did this before. This ain't what I'm here to do, you know?
You crazy. Dre was like, no, I ain't crazy. So I'm like, man, y'all on some old mad scientist stuff right now.
So he said, turn the lights out. I turned the lights down. He put on his dark glasses because he was like super embarrassed to do it, even though it was just me and him in there. You know, it was funny. I remember just like punching in each line, cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking the freaks. Each line was punched in through the entire song. It took us like 8 to 9 hours to get it done.
He would have to do so many takes, like a million takes. We were like, come on, Eric, just get it. He's like, I'm trying.
But when I heard the finished record, I was like, damn, you know, I looked at Dre in amazement. It's like, yo, you turn this dude into a rapper.
Woke up quick at about noon, just thought that I had to be in Compton soon.
The success of the single convinced them to form their own group.
It was like, you know what we're gonna call this group? And I was like, what?
Yo, we're NWA. Yo, that's Laffy. Let's do this shit together, man.
Come on, Beatles.
Come on.
You ready?
3, 1, 2, 3. Yo, we're NWA, and you're watching Rage. Believe that.
It's NWA. Like, what that mean? It's niggas with attitudes. I just fell out. I said, love. I said, hell yeah. Black people taking that word and trying to use it instead of getting abused by it. That's it.
We thought we were just like the ultimate at that time because each one of us were the best at what we did around our block, you know. Let's put this all-star group together and we're going to show them what's up at the park and whatnot.
Now, see, I was just confused a little bit about that. Could you explain like NWA and Eazy-E? Okay.
It's an all-star group. It's all of us. Me, Dre, Yella, Ren, Ice Cube.
As NWA came together, they jumped into the studio creating tracks like Boys in the Hood and building a buzz around LA streets. With the potential growing, Eazy realised they needed real industry backing, so he approached Jerry Heller to take Ruthless Records to the next level.
Alonzo kept telling me about this guy that wanted to meet me, this supposed drug dealer from Compton who wanted to meet me named Eric Wright.
Alonzo agreed to make the introduction if Eazy would pay him for it.
I finally agreed to meet Eazy because Alonzo told me that Eazy had paid him $750 for the introduction and he needed the money.
I introduced him to him, picked up a few bucks, in doing the introduction, and stepped off.
He pulled up in a Suzuki Samurai all tricked out. He had his dark glasses on and his jerry curls. I was sort of taken back by how diminutive he was, but he was clean. I said to him, "You got something for me to hear?" He just said, "Yes." He played me Boys in the Hood. It was a track that just stone cold blew me away. I thought it was the most important song that I had heard in over 25 years.
What began as demo sounding tracks and raw experimentation was about to become a full body of work. That album will be straight out of Compton.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called niggas with attitudes.
And for a moment, everything felt unstoppable. It wasn't just music, it was history in the making.
Choice of a new generation.
This album, Straight Outta Compton, was only done in 6 weeks, 5 days a week studio time, you know what I mean? At 3 hours a day, you know, so it was crazy how this happened, and it just let me know how powerful I could be. I'm like, damn, if people are buying this, wait till I really get a chance to get in the studio on some real equipment with some real time.
This major, you know, because every time we went in the studio, we was basically just trying to make records that was gonna rock our neighborhood or just rock LA. We wanted to become LA stars. We wasn't even thinking any further than Los Angeles, to tell you the truth. Maybe Oakland.
At this point, the West Coast was at the peak of their power.
People out there that had their things going like Ice-T and Schoolie D, but ain't nobody harnessed it like Eazy. He harnessed that shit and made it blow.
NWA was flying high. The only disagreements he had was creative debates in the
We
studio.
put this shit together. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Put what behind
This shit gonna drop.
You shouldn't have shit behind it.
That shit coming behind it.
Just like that.
The shit coming in front of it, motherfucker. The shit coming in front of it. When this shit come on, it's gonna sound like a drop. It's gonna sound like the shit just dropped.
I know that. It's a build up.
The shit is already built up. How can we keep it up?
The shit when it first
You talking about the beginning of this song. I'm talking about the shit that comes on before this even come on.
You still gonna have that on it?
Yeah.
Ain't no need to put no sirens
I'm
behind
talking about take that shit out, period.
No, leave that shit on there. That's the whole thing about the song.
You don't understand the fuck going on.
I know what's going on. It's like a fucking build up, man.
No, I'm talking about the shit that's playing before this song even come on.
You gonna have that commercial shit on there, and then this gonna come
when this
on.
come on, it's gonna sound like the shit just drop down.
But that's the whole build up of the song. You don't understand it, man.
Man, I'm good too.
After Straight Outta Compton exploded, a new contract tied to the group's growing distribution money was presented. But Ice Cube believed the deal heavily favoured Eazy and management. His frustration was already building. The group had helped create Eazy Does It, yet Cube felt he wasn't seeing a fair share of the profits. Jerry Heller presented new paperwork, but Cube refused to sign. Before committing to another deal, he wanted transparency, to properly review the contract and understand where the money was going.
We were on the Straight Outta Compton tour, and some of the people from Priority Record came down there with the platinum records, and they came down and they set these $75,000 checks in front of all of us. What's this for? And he was like, okay, this is for, you know, record sales and for an advance on the next record. So we like, cool. But there was a but on the end of that. But NWA is not a group legally because there are no contracts signed. See, up until then, everything was just verbal on a homeboy level. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And that's it. And this is how we're going to get paid. So Jerry Heller comes in and he goes, yo, you guys are not a group until these contracts are signed. You can't get these checks until these contracts are signed. So seeing $75,000 sitting on the table, and, you know, we some kids out of Compton. We've seen most at one time, $2,000. So we like, okay, cool. Cube was the only smart one at the time. You know, he didn't sign the contract. They say the pen is mightier than the sword is oh so true. You know, that moment messed us up for a long time.
I was just mad at that dude because he wouldn't give me my contract. You know, I just wanted, let me see it. Let me take it to my people. You know, the normal stuff you do when you get a contract. Of course. And he was like, I don't know, I can't give it to you. You can sign it, but I can't give it to you. So that was shady. And so I had a problem with him.
But you're good with the members.
I was good with everybody. A little mad at E because I felt E wasn't taking the right side. You know, I felt E.
He was kind of under his.
Doing enough to keep me in the group. You know, it was kind of like, yo, this is how it is. Yo, you can live with it, or you can get out the group like Arabian Prince. You know, who was go out and be a flop like Arabian Prince. You know, that was his exact quotes. You know, and I was like, damn, that ain't gonna happen, bruh.
From that point, Ice Cube left NWA.
I don't like the manager because he wasn't paying me my money.
That's the bottom line.
Bottom line, that's it. No more NWA. No more NWA questions, please.
Cube was just more business oriented than all of them, and he did it right. Hey, I'm not signing nothing.
I caught Jerry Heller, Eazy-E hand in the cookie jar, and I was willing to say, fuck it. I caught y'all. Just pay me what you owe me, and we can keep on rolling. But they wanted to save face. They felt like if they paid me, they would have to pay everybody else. And, so they was kind of pretty much like, fuck you, nigga, what you gonna do, go solo?
And that's exactly what Ice Cube did.
Now
he's pro-black.
Got a problem here? We got a problem.
He about money, and he wasn't.
No, he was on an ego trip.
I don't like the manager.
The motherfucking world is a ghetto, full of magazines with clips in every metal. When the stuff sells.
Yeah, for a while.
I heard he wrote most of the lyrics.
Number one, he was jealous of me.
And number two, you can't go by what you hear all the time. If you knew our music and you was deep into the group, you'll know who wrote what. So you can't believe everything you hear.
You see, Ice Cube was just featured on a lot of the stuff, but he went first on a lot of the stuff. And when you hear the new NWA, you see that we didn't need the motherfucker.
After Cube left NWA in late 1989, he released America's Most Wanted. The album went gold in only 14 days.
And I'm more than happy with the move, more than happy to really get my career going like I wanted to go, you know what I'm saying? You said 1 million copies later, here we are, it's only 5 weeks into the album, you know what I'm saying? So, I can't do nothing but be happy, And some people told me, yo, I made a bad decision, what you think?
When NWA split, different crews went with different people, and, they was in conflict with each other.
On the America's Most Wanted album, I didn't diss them at all. I didn't say nothing about NWA. Not even one word about nobody in the group. So for them to come out on they shit, 100 miles and running and diss me, that was their attitude. So now it's 4 'cause the 5th couldn't make it. The numbers even, now I'm leaving.
I just didn't expect them to diss because it was no beef like that. It was just basically business.
I wonder if it's because time goes on and people keep asking you about Cube, and people are in your ear, and then all of a sudden it becomes nastier. But then you were ready to handle shit on your own.
I mean, if you listen to America's Most Wanted, it's no dissing. It's no. I don't diss NWA. Don't mention NWA. Eazy-E. It's no dissing. And that record was the next record to come out after Straight Outta Compton. And then they had the diss with 100 Miles and Running. I came back with Jacket for Beats with a little diss at the end.
And if I jack you and you keep coming, I have you march 100 miles and run.
And then it just started to escalate.
Here we go. Yo, this is MC Ren from NWA, and you back with me on Out West, you know what I'm saying? That fool Ice Cube put a diss on this record. Yo, hey, but why don't y'all tell them what we think about Ice Cube? You know what I'm saying? That's what time it is, you know what I'm saying? And that fool Mine is playing tricks on him on Out West. Check it out.
While the first few disses for NWA were only mild, Ice Cube dropped a bomb on his album Death Certificate with a track titled No Vaseline in it.
Thing calling me on the block, you been a dick. Eazy-E saw your ass and went in it quick.
He called out Dre as spineless, Eazy is a sellout, and Jerry Heller is the manipulative mastermind.
It's a case of divide and conquer, cause you let a Jew break up my crew.
The track was ruthless, and Heller was deeply upset by it.
It's probably the most racist, anti-Semitic piece of literature that I've ever heard. I think it's awful, man. And,
Crazy.
Many listeners also criticized No Vaseline for its use of anti-Semitic language aimed at Heller.
How do you feel about the beer company that pulled the commercial you endorsed because of your anti-Jew lyrics?
Well,
anti-Semitic lyrics would be a nicer way of putting it.
Well, the lyrics aren't really anti-Semitic, and am I getting this wrong? Are they saying that they condone what Jerry Heller or some of these other people have done to me? Do they say that it's all right for Jewish managers to get young black kids with talent off the street without without lawyers and without people that was helping me in my benefit to make records?
We're talking about the Simon Wiesenthal Center, which said that your album should not be distributed and that people should not listen to it.
I'm talking about one man that happens to be Jewish. If this man was green, then I would still talk about it. If he was black, I would still talk about him.
I guess what hurts Jewish people is the fact that you have to say he's Jewish. Why not just say Jerry Heller? What you end up doing is saying, okay, this guy's a Jew, and you just sort of said it in your answer to this young man. You said, well, are they, as the Simon Wiesenthal Center, saying it's okay for people like Jerry Heller and Jewish managers to essentially exploit young black men? I don't think anybody would say that, but the question, is every manager who is white Jewish? Is every manager of a rap?
No, not at all, but the Simon Wiesenthal usually backs the Jewish community.
Well, it speaks out for what it perceives as discrimination.
No, what I'm saying is this. You know, every time I watch the news, the perpetrator is always identified. If they can't use their names, they identify them. Young black male, this. Young white male, that. Female, this. All I'm doing is identifying the perpetrator who I felt did me wrong. Nothing else, nothing
over
more.
it. Okay. But it seems like after No Vaseline, really the back and forth publicly stopped.
Yeah.
Did you really smash up that executive's record, the record executive's office?
Yeah, I did.
You still feel good about that?
I feel good about that, man.
After Ice Cube left NWA in 1989 over financial disputes, tensions didn't end there. Later, as Cube's solo career took off, he confronted executives at Priority Records, venting frustrations that Eazy-E, as both artist and owner, was earning more. That confrontation reflected the deeper anger towards Eazy and Priority that had already formed, as this wasn't the first time he had issues with payments.
So there was a knock on the glass door, and I was reading a paper, and I looked up, and it was Ice Cube, and he had 3 of his homeboys with him, and they were, they had their trench coats on and weren't looking too happy, and I said, "What's up, Cube?" And I opened the door for him. There were no security procedures at the time. He just stared me down, walked past me, and his crew walked past and went then into the president's office.
Cube was now fighting for fair treatment as a solo artist. Inside Priority offices were Mark Sarami, one of the co-founders of the label, and Dave Weiner, an executive involved in artist relations and finances.
About 5 minutes later, I heard screaming and glass breaking.
There was something going on, so I jumped out of my desk, I got up, I ran out, and I get to my partner's door, it's closed, and I hear all this screaming going on.
He was standing over Brian with a baseball bat, and he had his 3 guys standing behind him, and Cube turned around and screamed at Mark and I to get the hell out of the office.
Mark, get out of here, man. I'm cool with you. Just please, just leave.
And this has nothing to do with us. And I was glad to hear that. And I took a step back.
And I said, Cube, I can't do that, man. This is my partner. I have to stand here and I have to make sure nothing happens here. If you're gonna fight, we're gonna fight. If you're not gonna fight, let's talk about this.
Cube smashed the TV and hit Brian's glass desk and screaming about he didn't have the money that Eazy-E had and why is Eazy paid and I'm not. He stormed out of the office and smashed his gold and platinum plaques on the wall in the lobby.
Squad cars all over the place and they're all ready to bust everybody and everything. And Cube's a good guy. You know, he's a damn good guy, and he's always been very, very good to Priority and very good to me. And people coming after us like crazy. And I said, hey, hang on. What are you people doing? Oh, here is a problem with Cube, we're taking him to jail. I said, no, you're not. I said, there's nothing going on. And they finally got it in their mind, and they left. They didn't like it. They wanted to bust somebody. So I said to Cube, Cube, I said, meet me in Marina Del Rey tomorrow. And I rented a 50-foot power boat, fishing boat. So we went out and we went fishing for about 4 hours. I made us lunch and then we listened to a bunch of Cube's new album and he said that there was a problem. He said he was owed money, this and that. And I said, then there is no problem. I said, it's taken care of. You'll get the money. And I got back to the office and I straightened it out immediately.
That was my introduction to the rap game because at the time, I guess I was 19 or 20. It was my first, 6 months or year at the company. So from there, it all made sense after that.
A woman named Daria Kelly, who I did sales with at Priority. She schooled me on the sales game. Mm-hmm. She actually has that plaque in her house, the one that Cube smashed up in the lobby. Yeah, she's got that.
Is it still smashed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's got like the official smash plaque.
Okay, that's dope.
So she's probably like, why'd you tell everyone, Dave? Let the cat out the bag. Now they know.
Not long after Ice Cube's departure, Dr. Dre began questioning the finances at Ruthless Records, finding himself in a similar position as Cube. During this time, Dre crossed paths with Suge Knight, who promised to help. Suge brought in someone to examine Dr. Dre's royalties and finances.
So Suge took my contracts to a guy named Dick Griffey. He started telling me I should be getting this amount of money and this amount of points for each record, and you're only getting this. So I'm like, okay. Went back to the studio, not knowing if Eazy knows about this shit or not. And Eazy is just going crazy. Fuck Cube this, fuck Cube that. Up until then, everything that we had done was like the ultimate brotherhood, at least from my perspective. Then all of a sudden, it just turned into business, and it turned into pressure.
I said, listen, man, fuck all of this going back and forth shit, man. Either Jerry goes or I go. And he looked me in my face and said, I can't get rid of Jerry.
That suspicion would lead to him breaking away from Ruthless Records and seeking a new path.
That was the end of me and Eazy-E's relationship.
In 1991, Dr. Dre left NWA and Ruthless Records because of financial disputes and teamed with Suge Knight to form Death Row Records. Suge done Dre a favor and used intimidation against Ruthless to get him out of his contract.
Suge Knight was always around. He was around in the days of NWA. I never noticed who he was.
By any means necessary.
Dre basically made Ruthless Records.
Dre was the label's superstar producer, driving its sound and signing fresh talent. Suge and Dre invested their own money into the company and insisted on owning their own masters, a stance that set Death Row apart. Backed by Suge Knight's muscle, Death Row became the biggest rap label in the world that was built on gangster rap.
What's my name?
After the success of the Doggy Style album, Death Row didn't need to look elsewhere. They kept everything in-house. You had Dre behind the board, shaping every sound, Nate Dogg laying down smooth hooks, and even though Snoop wasn't officially part of the Dog Pound, he was right there with Daz and Corrupt on every record. Every beat, every verse, every hook came straight out of Death Row, and then came the missing piece of the puzzle.
Check it out.
Rapper, actor, and sex abuse convict Tupac Shakur walked out of a New York jail last week, bailed out to the tune of $1.4 million by Suge Knight of Death Row Records, which has signed Shakur to a record deal.
Then I went straight to the studio. And I did 24 tracks in less than 2 weeks.
You could mix it later and have niggas that love being in the studio all night, just adding a drum beat at the time and shit. You could do that after the rappers leave and shit. That's when it's fresh. That's when it's good. Get that beat popping. Throw them niggas on the track. Do it. Put it down. Then after we finish, we walk out. Everybody be here and listen to it. Like, this the hook. We go in there and lay the hook. That be the song.
Plus, I had so much to say. I figured this would be the best way to really vent it instead of paying some psychotherapist like $50 million. I just went in the studio. It's cheaper.
Here we go! California, get up! Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing hoochie screaming. Fiending for money and alcohol, but life of a West Side player with cowards out and a strong ball.
You gotta realize one thing. Tupac is death row. I feel I have more than just a business relationship with him. He the type can be like a brother, a friend.
Tupac signed to Death Row, and not long after, there became a West Coast versus East Coast war.
I'm gonna overthrow the government y'all got right now, which is Bad Boy and Nas and all that bullshit, and we will bring a new government here that will feed every person in New York.
That's cool, man. All right, man.
Tupac was my friend, so I had no problem with playing my role. You know, nigga, you need to wear suits, nigga. Hugo Boss, nigga, jewelry. Do this, do that. Nigga, lay your hair down. But once he started bad-mouthing Dre, I'm feeling like that's coming from Suge.
It was kind of exciting because the environment was kind of thuggish. It was Bloods on this side, Crips on this side, and I'm hearing all these different war stories. And I feel like it was something I needed, because if I'm producing a record for a particular artist, it's like you have to get into the type of vibe that they're in.
By 1996, tensions in hip-hop were everywhere. Tupac, who once respected Ice Cube, took shots at him during the Hit 'em Up era, accusing Cube of biting his style on the Bow Down album.
Now it's all about Versace. You copy my style.
I dig Ice Cube. I looked up to him. But because I looked up to him and I studied his style, mastered his shit, I know what he's doing is wrong. If his shit ain't selling, so now he's going on the war shit, and he's using us as the gas. He just dropped some shit called Bad Am. And if you listen to it, you can see he hit him up and was like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
Ironically, that same album featured King of the Hill, where Ice Cube was firing back at Cypress Hill, who were also accusing Ice Cube of stealing their sound. Even as Ice Cube expanded into film with the movie Friday, controversy followed.
I was doing movies, and I was kind of trying to build that career.
Around that same period, Cypress Hill accused him of copying their record, igniting another West Coast beef. In the mid-1990s, a few years after leaving NWA and moving to New York, a feud erupted between rapper Ice Cube and Latin hip-hop group Cypress Hill.
I always was down with him, and he was always one of my favorites. And I said, if I'm gonna build my name, I want people to, look at me like they look at him or like they look at KRS-One.
Cypress Hill's Be Real had long admired Ice Cube and were good friends with the group, with Be Real even being Cube's bodyguard at one time.
Always strapped up, boom, had my vest on, sidearm at all times. I didn't give a fuck. And when I went to hang out with Cube, he didn't have any of his bodyguards hanging out when we would hang out. So, I took over the duty. If somebody was gonna step to my dude, they were gonna have to deal with it.
Be Real was also tapped in to contribute to Cube's 1990 comedy film, Friday.
Gotta start the day off right, man!
Originally, I was supposed to be in that movie, but our manager fucked around and booked dates for us, in Europe, so I couldn't be in the movie. So I was supposed to be the Mexican homie that fucking smoked Chris Tucker's character out with the fucking sherm stick.
Decided to smoke with the big boys, eh, Smokey? You ain't showing me nothing new, essay?
About it, so I said, hey, I can't be in the fucking movie. My manager fucked up. I apologize, but we'll give you some music for the movie if you want. And he's like, oh hell yeah.
Be Real invited Ice Cube to the studio to give him a song for the Friday movie titled Light It Up, Roll It Up, Smoke It Up.
We play him the song and he likes it. He goes, yeah, that's perfect, Me and Muggs ask him, hey man, we got a couple of tracks from the album, you want to hear it?
We played him a song called Throw Your Set in the Air, and he was like, oh, that's banging, that shit is banging. Can I get that for the movie instead?
They're like, man, we'd love to give it to you, but this is gonna be the single on our album.
He said, all right, cool. So he said, can I hear it again? So we played it again for him.
Played it for him a couple of times over because he wanted to hear it again.
We was kind of like half-ass listen to him, half-ass talk.
Cube was impressed and wanted it for Friday. but the group refused to give it up. A few weeks later, Ice Cube released his single, Friday.
We took off on tour a number of months later, and our homies were calling us, you know. He says, hey man, did you give Cube the song from your record for the Friday thing? Like, yeah, the Get High song, yeah, we gave that up already. Why? No, the Throw Your Set in the Air thing. I said, no, we didn't give him that. He goes, well, you know, that shit is in his chorus in his song. So we're like, nah, you're crazy. Finally, I hear it, and sure enough, there it is. You know, the same. It's like some of the words are changed around, but for the most part, the chorus is the same.
Throw your neighborhood in the air if you don't care. Oh yeah, throw your neighborhood in the air. Like you just don't care.
We was thrown back like, what?
Cypress Hill later felt Cube took the hook of one of their songs without permission for his movie's theme song, and immediately took offense, feeling betrayed by Cube.
3 months later, I go to South Africa to do my movie. Mac 10 called me and say, Cypress Hill is on the radio dissing. Say what?
He calls me, asks me if, you know, why we're dissing him. And I said, hey man, you know, the guys feel like you snatched up the song.
It was a misunderstanding where they thought that I took one of their hooks and this, that, and the other.
Sitting there telling me that he was, you know, he didn't do it. It's, you know, we're friends and this is hip hop and everything. And I thought, yeah, you know, it could happen. It's hip hop, you know. I said, you know what, let me talk to them. I'll straighten it out.
There was also another moment involving a crew connected to Ice Cube's camp. Be Real rocked up to a recording session with Cube and recorded some vocals. And then another problem occurred.
And I heard a couple lines that were the same things I used on the Temple of Boom record. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, that's my line. How the hell is it on this record? I'm like, damn, again? In my opinion, I felt like he saw my reaction, and I walked out of the room for a second to make a phone call. When I came back, the line was gone. And I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, that line ain't there no more. Okay, I know I'm not tripping. So I come back and I have a talk with these guys again, Muggs and Sen. I said, hey, I think he really did take our shit.
Enraged by the perceived theft, Cypress Hill recorded No Rest for the Wicked.
Cube made a song called Wicked, which supposedly, you know, he stole from King's son from the Bronx.
We get to the part where, you know, Ice Cube done bit my joint. I done ran up on him in the Palladium. Boop, bop, boop. We already know what happened. Now, after that took place, I'm in my apartment in Olinville in the Bronx. Shout out to Gun. Everybody know my spot. So I'm in the crib and I'm wearing my baby balls. Somebody ring the doorbell. My baby mom come to the door and she's like, the dude from Cypress Hill is at the door. So I go look at the peephole and it's Be Real. So I go like, peace. It was like, yo, can I speak to King's son? So I open the door. When I open the door, it's Be Real. I'm like, yo, come in. But he's like, yo, son, we doing a show downtown. And, you know, Ice Cube bit our joint too from the movie Fridays and everything like that. Third, we want you to come down and represent. So I was like, you know, I ain't going to disappoint you. I got dressed and we went down.
Making it clear that the target was Cube, this marked the public start of the beef.
I remember Cube told me, man, these Cypress Hill niggas are strict. And I said, I thought them was your homies. Because they was down. And he said, yeah, I thought they was my homies too, but them niggas is dissing.
You know what the fuck I'm talking about?
You know, me, I don't run from no challenge, from nobody. You know, even though we was dogs, you know, I feel like they should be dealt with the worst.
Oh, yeah. It ain't over, motherfuckers.
Ice Cube, now backed by his West Coast supergroup Westside Connection with Mac 10 and WC, retaliated on their debut album Bow Down in 1996. They dropped King of the Hill, a diss track attacking Cypress Hill, and asserts Cube's dominance as King of the Hill.
Every few years, niggas think they can deal with the real. Now I got to fuck Cypress Hill.
King of the Hill was basically the diss against us with him and Mac 10.
I had never met Be Real, Muggs, Sin Dog, nobody from Cypress Hill. And they was blood. But I was with this nigga, so I didn't give a fuck.
And it was a pretty good diss, you know. I had to give it up on that one. It was all right.
WC refused to participate in the dissing of his friend Cypress Hill, so the diss track came mainly from Cube and Mac 10.
We was homeboys. So if you notice, Dub C ain't on that record.
Dub told me that he knew them, and that's why he stayed out of it or whatever. Because I don't give a fuck if I know you or not. That's the way I was raised, though. My daddy was a gangster, and that's how he instilled that in me. You ride with your nigga, right or wrong. Talk about it and tell a nigga how wrong he was later, after the fact. But if it's going down, nigga, you got to ride with him.
Fuck everybody who really ain't really who in our way.
Now what? You hip hop hippies? How you fucking junkies think you gonna punk me and chill and deal with the fact that you ain't got enough skill to kill the king of the hill?
The most difficult part about that shit was to say something about Sin Dog. Sin even had a conversation with Cube and said, Cube, man, I remember no Vaseline. I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. And we still went on him because that's how gangster it was at the time. And we didn't know was that a setup or what. So we just covered all bases. Fuck Sin Dog too.
I already knew about the disc before it came out. I had the lyrics sent to me from unknown sources.
The day after it came out, B just took their beat and killed them on it.
Not to be outdone, Cypress Hill answered back again with Ice Cube Killer, an unofficial diss track aimed squarely at Cube and Westside Connection.
Basically did what Cube had been known to do other people, you know, which is jack their beats and just diss the shit out of them over it, you know.
Give me that beat, bitch!
We are at war!
Ding, ding, motherfucker!
In it, Be Real does a crazy verse on Cube, including an intro by a Cube sound-alike to make a joke of him, escalating the beef to its peak.
I thought that shit was whack. That shit couldn't fuck with King of the Hill.
They dissed me at the LA Sports Arena car show, you know, with like 40,000 people there, you know. And then I did some shit in the Bronx on Rap Sheet's pay-per-view where I had his shirt crossed out with a big red X.
The feud didn't stay confined to music. The bad blood seeps into the streets and media.
Shit got pretty deep, you know. I had people from his side coming to me, you know.
At the Power 106 Powerhouse concert, Westside Connection was met with hostility. Some angry fans, reportedly many Latino Cypress Hill reporters, hurled bottles at Cube's group on stage.
A lot of the Latin people were like, hey man, you know, we're gonna ride for you on this one. You just say the word.
They would not want to see Cypress Hill in LA. They get ran the fuck out of LA. Dead up. The essays rule the streets in LA.
Give me that beat, bitch!
Knocked him down, knocked him out, woke him back up, whooped on his ass. Somehow his chain fell in my hand. I don't know how it got in my hand, but it fell in my hand. Then all of a sudden his Rolex started jumping off and coming into my hand. I don't know how that happened.
Fan-based reacted.
Crowd go crazy. They go bananas off of it.
And we're like, well, shit, let's take pictures with it.
Nigga, you didn't take the chain. Nigga, why you wearing it? What you proving, nigga? How many brownie points you getting for that, nigga? You didn't take it. That's the way I felt at the time.
It was a pretty interesting time because, you know, it created a lot of split here in LA between black and brown, you know.
Rather than hide the incident, Solo flaunted it. That same night, Cypress Hill had the show at LA's House of Blues, and Fontino showed up wearing Ice Cube's stolen chain in front of the crowd alongside Be Real. This was a clear signal of victory on Cypress Hill's behalf. The chain snatching was not a random robbery. It was tied to the ongoing rap beef between Cypress Hill and Cube. Solo was effectively acting on behalf of Cypress Hill. The altercation became part of the Cube vs Cypress Hill feud narrative, proving that bad blood had spilled from wax to real life. Remarkably, no police reports or legal actions emerged from the brawl. It remained an off-the-street record incident. However, word of the fight spread quickly in the East Coast rap community. It was an embarrassing story for Ice Cube, one of the era's biggest rap stars, and for years it lived as an underground rumour. The chain snatching became a well-known proof of just how intense the Cube vs Cypress Hill feud became. Within Cypress Hill's circle, it was seen as payback for Cube's diss tracks and comments. While Cube himself has rarely, if ever, spoken publicly about being robbed by Solo, The story's persistence speaks volumes. For Cypress Hill fans, it was almost a folk victory. For Cube's camp, an unfortunate episode best forgotten. Decades later, the bad blood from the incident had cooled. Sean Fontino had since made peace with Ice Cube, just as Cypress Hill did. In 2013, when Fontino's role as GTA 5's Franklin brought him back into the spotlight, many gamers were stunned to discover the man voicing Franklin had once knocked out Ice Cube in real life. The story was covered by news outlets and quickly went viral on forums and social media, adding to Fontino's character. In a way, it enhanced the credibility of GTA. Rockstar Games had intentionally hired a real former gang member, like Fontino, to voice characters for authenticity. The fact that one of their voice actors actually lived a gangster moment became a compelling trivia point. Within the hip-hop community, the revival of this story prompted nostalgia for 90s hip-hop.
Somebody gave me B-Real number and said B-Real want to holler at you.
He asked me, you know, so what's it gonna take for you and Cube to squash this? I said, you know, just like you, all he's gotta do is call me and, you know, we'll talk it out.
And I explained to him where I was coming from. Nigga, I don't got nothing to do with it, but that's my homeboy, and I'm riding with him. And he said, you know what, homie? I can respect that. I can't even be mad at you. I respect that. If that's where you coming from with it, Mac, I respect that.
Cube called me like on, I think it was January 1st in 97. Like, you know, hey, what's going on, man? Let's talk this thing out, you know? And so I said, yeah, all right. Before we talk this out, this is why I did what I did, because I want you to really know that, you know, this ain't for nothing. The shit we've been talking is pretty heavy, so we can go on, keep doing this, and sooner or later we'll run into each other. You know, it's a small world, you know. If you want to squash it right now, we can squash it. I'll never say any fucked up thing about you as long as you stick to that too, and we'll be friends again, and maybe shit, we'll work together and do something.
If we see B-Real right now, he can come hang with us right now, man. It's cool. For real, because we got past the shit.
I like Ice Cube show. I'm a big fan. I was bumping it today, I'm telling you. It's in my CD thing right now.
Definitely, there's no beef whatsoever. I mean, when I squashed it with him and I you know, I said my piece, that was it. You know, Mac 10 too, you know.
On the 1st of January 1997, B-Real and Ice Cube officially squashed their beef, putting an end to the Cypress Hill vs. West Side Connection war. As a public sign of reconciliation, Ice Cube and B-Real teamed up along with others on Shaquille O'Neal's 1997 single, Men of Steel.
I keep it real, no more beef with Cypress Hill, now we super friends, making super ends.
This collaboration featuring Cube and B-Real trading verses on the same track proved the hatchet was buried.
I mean, we done had our share of problems, you know, but, you know, we working together to work that out, you know, and, you know, maybe if the public see us work out our problems, they'll work out their problems. You know, it's a lot of problems here, you know, in Southern California, you know, with blacks and Latinos and this, that, and the other. Right. And, you know, and hopefully this right here just be that stepping stone to get everything squashed between the black and the brown.
Definitely. I mean, you know, both of us, you know, we have a lot of influence on our communities and everything with our music and the stuff we got to say. So, you know, we was beefing each other for so long and it was confusing people. And we need to be down together rather than confusing each other and confusing our audience and all the people who are listening to what we got to say. So, you know, it's like we needed to put aside our differences and look at the bigger picture. We go back a ways. We were friends and you know, real tight and everything.
Cypress Hill and Ice Cube performed together on tour dates, something unimaginable at the beef's height. It didn't start over diss tracks, it started over trust. Time eventually did what pride couldn't. They squashed it. And the craziest part, it all circles back to the movie Friday, a movie that became a classic.
I'm through with this shit.
Then it went from music to real life. Sometimes it's so real it ends up sounding like a GTA mission.
Hey, come on, bro, don't do that.
Who you trying to get crazy with this scene? Don't you know I'm loco?
In 1995, tensions were growing at Death Row Records.
But that was mainly because when I was around in 95, you know, from the Friday soundtrack and all of that, he was on house arrest. Dre had a couple of issues where he took a Lamborghini or something, was racing down Sunset and was a little drunk. And then he also had the issue with D. Barnes where he slapped a female. and Carter case. And so Dre was on house arrest and was wearing an ankle bracelet a lot. But Dre had his own studio. He wasn't one up there at K&M every day.
He wasn't producing shit. Other niggas was producing the beats, like on my album. Other niggas was doing the beats, and Dre was getting the credit.
Das and all the other little producers, and they did the track.
Around that time, Snoop Dogg was on trial for murder, and Dre's absence as a witness didn't sit well with Tupac.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, whose real name is Calvin Broadus, claims self-defense.
My take on what happened was that Snoop was on trial for murder, fighting for his life. Somebody had said that Dre was in the car. The jury believed that. We needed Dre to be there to say he wasn't there. Once they would have saw him, they would have known he wasn't there. And that would have saved Snoop's whole case. And Dre's one of my heroes in the music business. But I was like, no matter how dope he is, if you're not down for his homeboy, Snoop, who brought him back when he was just a relic, when niggas was dissing him, you know what I mean? Then I don't want to be a part of him. I don't want to be around him or nothing. Plus, I feel as though what's done in the dark will come to light. It's secrets that everybody's gonna find out about that I don't have to play a hater draw snitch about. That will come out, you'll find out for yourself and you'll know why I did it. I swear to God, y'all, I'm living by the rules of the game that y'all, the people, had put down for us to live by.
As 1996 began, the atmosphere grew more hostile. Tupac felt Dre wasn't putting in the work or showing loyalty.
He is a dope producer, but he ain't worked in years. I'm out here in the streets, you know what I mean? Whooping niggas' ass, starting wars and shit, putting it down, dropping albums, doing my shit, and this nigga taking 3 years to do one song.
The rumor has it things got real dark between Dr. Dre and Tupac. Allegedly, Dre got shot in the legs by Tupac Shakur. A member of the Furious Five claimed Suge Knight paid Tupac in that bet.
Was Pac vocal in his displeasure?
He shot Dre in the leg.
Pac shot Dre in the leg?
Yeah. Suge bet Pac 50,000 that he wouldn't shoot Dre, and Pac shot him in the leg.
Are you serious?
Dead ass. Yep.
Wow, man. So Pac is just on it like that. So when he was talking all that stuff on them records, he really meant business.
Then Corrupt said Tupac was shot in the legs.
I always wondered about that scene in the Straight Outta Compton movie when Dre got mad at everybody in the death row because the way they was acting in the lobby, and he just started beating up on the dude. Did stuff like that really happen?
Yeah, Dr. Dre wasn't no punk. You know what I'm saying? He got shot in both his legs when he knocked this one guy down. Something happened with Jewel.
With the interviewer asking, is the guy still alive who did it?
Oh. He had the one hit of quitters, but this guy didn't quit because he went down and he came back up. Doop, 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 and he got Dr. Dre in both the legs. But
that's crazy. Dre got shot in the legs back in the day, and we didn't hear nothing about it.
Oh yeah,
that should be front page news everywhere nowadays.
Absolutely.
What year was that?
That had to be what? The Chronic was out.
Is the guy alive that shot Dr. Dre? I'm sure he's not alive anymore.
You never know.
Could that be Tupac Shakur? Even Snoop Dogg verified he was there when Dr. Dre got shot in the legs.
We never said nothing. Corrupt wasn't even there. I was physically standing next to Dr. Dre when he got shot.
Wow.
We never said a word.
Wow.
We took that on the chin. He lived.
Can you imagine one of the world's biggest producers being shot by a label mate as a joke? It's kind of hard to believe that even happened. Drop us a comment below and let us know what you think of these claims.
How many of them do I really need?
He wasn't as inspired, and it was too many thugs and niggas up there that didn't have any work atmosphere no more. It became fun and games, and the success had kicked in, and we were stars, and motherfuckers just loved being around it.
You actually got hit, right? With a golf club?
Yeah.
But by who?
Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
In 1995, tensions between Death Row Records and Eazy-E's Ruthless Records were real. That summer, Montel Jordan was filming his music video, Something for the Honeys, at the Sherwood Country Club in California. Big names were on the set, including Nate Dogg and from Eazy-E's side, BG Knockout and Gangsta Dresta.
Actually, Eazy-E boys, they was just, me and Ricky Harris was riding around, on a little go-kart thing, getting ready to shoot a scene. And they just walked up on me like, fuck the dog pound, you know what I mean? And my response was like, I'm not, it's about 100 people around here. One of them went behind me. So I'm like, well, either I swing now, else I just get swung on. So Then it all
You had
jumped
no
off.
choice but to swing.
So
and
once I
bing,
swung, then
bing.
it just got hectic because then I was fighting 2 to 3 people, and then somebody hit me in the back of the head and all that.
Niggas is fighting like, yo, what's up?
All right.
Let's go,
Hey,
yo,
let's
come
go
on,
up
yo, we going to get in the
From
fight.
there, it turned into a full-out brawl with Nate backed by a big crew. BG Knockout and Dresta were outnumbered. In the middle of the chaos, Nate grabbed the golf club and swung it, hitting Gangster Dresta in the head. People started screaming, running and chasing Nate across the green.
But where'd you get hit?
My head, my hand was broke. I actually blocked it. I actually was good at what I do, you know what I'm talking about? So
Right, but you broke
I
your
didn't
hand.
run. If you look at the footage, I didn't run from the golf club. I was giving Nate his chance. You got one swing and you know what I mean?
Security and undercover cops rushed in, pulled guns and shut the whole video shoot down. No arrests, no charges, but the production was ruined and everyone was forced off the course.
So even the block, it broke my hand. And when the tip of it hit me, I bust my head, but then the tip of it broke off of the club. See, all that ain't on the video.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? That's how much force, well, it could have probably killed me if I didn't. You know what I mean? He threw a little, he tried a little two-piece, little slow two-piece, so I give it to him. I can't be mad about it, man. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of things that went on around that time to where, like I say, if I talk about certain shit, it's gonna be an edited version, and it ain't gonna favor us. If I just talk about it like what you see is all, it was more, a whole lot more to it. You know what I'm talking about? It's a whole lot more to it.
Even Method Man jokes who was on set, "I love this game as it happened."
Matt, I love this game. What happened? Tell us what just went down. I'm glad I got my car. Let's go.
I mean, it actually was some unnecessary bullshit.
That they trying to get paid.
We was talking about some people earlier before about coming out talking about us and doing this and trying to do that so they can bring their name up. I don't know how much
them niggas
Eazy-E,
still ain't
rest in
sold
peace,
to
I don't know
the
how much he had to do with influencing them to talk about
real
us.
though.
But
That
they
shit
was down with
played out
him and we
quick,
was
yeah.
down with Dre, so they was trying to do their diss thing.
Hey, on the
But
real.
it played out. Where they album
That
go?
shit played out quick.
They come out talk. The only single that anybody even know anything about them was when they had us in the video tied all up. That's all we heard from them. We heard about their album. I think they sold 8 copies.
4.
They bought 2 of them. And I mean, hey, I ain't mad at them, but I mean, it's gonna be the same thing. And I mean, and we not trying to be no hoodlums. We out here trying to make money because I know that day I felt real bad about what
They
went
bought
on.
8, bought
It looked
2.
real silly. I was scared somebody got it on tape. And they ought to told me y'all got it on tape.
Oh, we got your back.
But I mean, I was
Over
like,
the
man,
hood, we gonna
that's
judge
some
that
real
motherfucker
unnecessary
tonight.
shit for us to be out here doing this and we supposed to be making money. But I mean, they seen it as a way to come up, and they ended up on the short end of the stick that day.
Dre was disturbed and possibly scared of Suge's crazy behaviour. Dre found himself retreating from the drama and violence surrounding the label. All these factors set the stage for Dre's departure. In order to secure his freedom, Dr. Dre agreed to give up 50% ownership of the label, effectively selling his half of Death Row for a rumoured $1. As part of this deal, Dre also surrendered the copyrights to the Chronic 1992 to Death Row. Suge Knight only allowed Dre to leave under these harsh terms, meaning Dre left with nothing but his name. Immediately after leaving, Dr. Dre partnered with Interscope Records executive Jimmy Iovine to launch his new label, Aftermath Entertainment.
Finding people that can trust is difficult enough. Most people have difficulty with that. And Dre and I, from the day we met, we trusted each other.
Unlike Death Row, Aftermath was conceived as a more professional label with corporate backing, giving Dre a fresh
If
start.
somehow they would have coexist. But Jimmy Iovine made it happen.
As far as Dr. Dre goes, been there, done that, through with it.
If he chooses to go on, move forward, and do his own thing. For me, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it, but it couldn't be a better position for me. I mean, Death Row is a multi-million-dollar company that have a catalog of hits on top of hits, and I still own all the masters.
I said, Jimmy, if you want him, he can go with you, but he just leave with the shirt on his back. I ain't no pimp, but I know about him. I ain't never seen a pimp let a motherfucking hoe leave, and he tell the prostitute, take the jewelry, take your clothes, and don't forget the money. At the end of the day, everybody knows Dre's a hoe.
This was extreme even by Suge Knight standards and showed how bitter the rivalry between Death Row and Aftermath had become.
Suge Knight did not want Dr. Dre to leave Death Row, even though he became 100% owner of the company from 50%. He did not want that.
You could walk in the door and get your ass whooped at Death Row. You could be sitting down and waiting to see Suge, and somebody come in, hide the motherfucker, and they get their ass whooped. I mean, a lot of those guys that worked there was scared just to come to work because somebody might just come in here and whoop your ass. Dre was scared too. I mean, it was all those guys, you know, I look at their videos and all that shit, they was all scared. You know, can't none of them say they wasn't scared. My whole thing about it is, you can't treat your artists like that. Why is you getting down like that? Why is you putting the fear in these guys like that? They work for you. They ain't gonna do what they do if they coming in here knowing they gonna get jumped on or might get jumped on.
Suge had a meeting with Jimmy, and he told Jimmy, he says, look, man, I can't do nothing with Dre. You're gonna have to take him off my hands, man. I just can't. But see, you gotta remember, Pac was fire, and he still had Snoop, so
yeah.
he had
that
all
Dog
that.
Pound.
Yeah, and we
Rage.
had and he had that in-house producer, so he didn't feel like he needed Dre at this point. So he called Jimmy, and you know they met, and he told him, he said, "You take Dre, you take Dr. Dre." And Jimmy was like, "No, man, think about it." And Jimmy's going back for no, Suge, no. Eventually, Jimmy said, "Okay."
So he like, man, you know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. Which, you know, but we know he was still around. But, you know, that shit that builds up. So that's when the big meeting with Sam Snead happens. Because by that time, Jimmy Iovine called Suge and said, hey, Dre is leaving. He want to leave Death Row. I'll help him get something started with Aftermath and, another label, which eventually became Aftermath. Suge said he could leave. But he leaving with nothing. He ain't getting 1 cent and will never get another penny from Death Row. And Dre was like, okay. Now, there's other things. I know I done put out accusations or opinions that Dre left. The final straw in the camel's back was when he found out Michelet and Suge was messing around and allegedly pregnant or something like that. Yeah, or mainly that he was fucking her. I'll just say that. So he's hearing all of this stuff, and Dre was just tired. But how the conversation really went was from Jimmy Iovine to Suge, and Jimmy assuring both he still had their backs. Dre, you'll be fine. Let him have the company, and I got you, which he still got him to this day.
Dre's departure went from having a partner to having 100% of a company. So he got what he wanted, I got what I wanted, and, you know, life goes on.
It is a lot to leave behind.
That's like walking away from Motown or something. Keep it. I'm gone.
Things wasn't going right. You know, I actually didn't even know the nigga left. And I popped up at the studio, people looking at me like, what the fuck is you doing here? It was crazy, you know.
You sure I'm looking for Dre?
Ain't nobody never slapped me or nothing like that. That ain't that. If you thinking that, that's not what happened.
Death Row brought the gangster into the music and the business.
What if they would have had control and that whole element of it wouldn't have been a part of it? Would it have still been as successful? Or did the controversy really make them successful? See, that's the hard thing to answer. Like, was it because it was Bloods and Death Row and Snoop Dogg and Tupac, and was it really all that? Because if it would have went right, Eminem would have came, 50 Cent would have came. I mean, think about that. Sometimes when I see Suge or Dr. Dre or those guys, I go, wow, man, I wonder if that ever crosses their mind. You know what I mean? Like, wow, it would have been $500 billion company, man.
Death Row got deeper into the East Coast versus West Coast war. Tupac's beef with Biggie and P. Diddy put Death Row at war with Bad Boy Records. Snoop, however, wasn't eager to continue the cycle of hatred. In a Hot 97 interview just days after the 1996 MTV Awards, Snoop said he had love for Biggie and Puff.
And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like them niggas. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way. Like, nigga, fuck them niggas. Them niggas tried to kill me. Niggas shot at you. And you talking about you want to do a song with them niggas? I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked them niggas' music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out. Pac, Biggie, Puff, Suge, all of us together. Prior to Death Row. Just on some regular shit. So that to me, I never seen myself getting involved. Even when he played the video for me to Hit 'Em Up. Even when he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it.
Tupac wasn't happy with Snoop's public show of peace. On the flight home from New York, Tupac and Suge Knight ignored Snoop, and Snoop could feel the tension building, leaving Snoop feeling vulnerable.
So now we flying back to LA the next day. So normally I got 2 security with me that fly on a private plane. What is Suge got his homies, Pac got his security. We get to the private plane, nigga Suge like, they can't go. Security like, all right, well come on with us, dog. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay down. I'm gonna ride with them. Like, this either the moment you niggas gonna kill me, and we gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5 hour flight. I ain't got no security. You niggas ain't feeling me right now. I felt like they were fueling each other's fire. Like they was tit for tat. When I get on the plane, after they say my security can't roll, niggas don't say nothing to me. So I sit down, they still don't say nothing to me. Now we finna take off. I'm like, all right, I see what's finna happen. I've been around these niggas, I know how they get down. I grab me a knife and a fork, get my blanket, put my blanket over my eyes to like they right up under here. 5.5 hours like this. Sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back, I'm the last seat. So nigga, somebody gonna get killed. Nigga, if I'm gonna get killed, somebody dying with me. I'm just, my back against the wall. 5.5 hours, nobody say one word to me. Not one fucking word. As soon as we land, they roll the little stairs down. All them niggas go out first. My Rolls Royce right here, Pac Rolls Royce right here. Go down the stairs, Pac go down. I go down, I'm like, Pac, you going to Vegas to the fight, cuz?
During the start of Aftermath, No Diggity was Dre's first major hit, along with Teddy Riley.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
Suge and Pac got their hands on an early version of the beat through Interscope and rushed out an early version of Toss It Up, using the same sample to get back at Dre. Pac decided to take the No Diggity beat and put Teddy's old bandmate on it.
Jimmy sent the cease and desist.
Jimmy Iovine sent the cease and desist.
Because I called Jimmy and I said, Jimmy, what's this shit going on? Yo, I hear our sample, our record on the radio and people like the new, it's Tupac on there. You put Tupac on the record? He's like, what you talking about? I was like, Jimmy, it's a record. This is your label. I mean, this is the Interscope. Like, he said, I'll call you back.
This was a subtle shot at Dre to say Death Row can do better than Aftermath. Jimmy Iovine stepped in and issued a cease and desist, forcing them to make alterations to the beat.
I think Suge is mad at me. Jimmy Iovine called me back. Don't worry about it. It's taken care of. The record is off the radio.
He got it pulled.
This is when I knew the power of him.
Yeah.
I know he pushed a button and that record disappeared off the radio.
But
and
it
then
came back out again.
It came back.
Toss It Up.
After.
Featuring Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall to diss me. And Jodeci and Devontae to diss me. And Dr. Dre.
It wasn't a diss at first, it only had the one Pac verse. After they got the cease and desist letter, they switched up the beat and Pac recorded a second verse going straight at Dre.
Still down for that Death Row sound, searching for paydays, no longer Dre Day, or even dirt.
It was clear Tupac was calling out Dre for abandoning Death Row and implying he wasn't loyal or street enough. Suge's pettiness also surfaced in the original artwork plan for Tupac's The Don Illuminati album. the blonde guy signifying a generic white blonde drag, but some people speculate it's Jimmy Iovine or Jerry Eller, or his secret lover named Bruce, according to Suge.
Andre. And only people I know you put a constraint order against somebody unless it's a battered woman, like a wife, a baby mama. I didn't know a so-called gangster rapper would go put a constraint order against another man.
Right. It's very because I know the way.
Is that why you're saying he's gay?
I'm saying he's gay because there's a guy named Bruce and they've been sleeping together for years.
I love you, but if you homo, Dre not gonna be here today. Not today. Dre not gonna be here.
He said he wanna be here.
If you looking for Dre, he's not gonna be here. Yeah, Peanut.
The years after Dre's departure saw Death Row quickly lose its star power. In September 1996, Tupac Shakur was killed in Las Vegas.
You knew that company was going to come crashing down, feds first.
People let the fame go to their heads and the egos took over, and the next thing you know, it wasn't nowhere to go but down.
Suge Knight then was sent to court on a parole violation for his involvement in the casino brawl the night of Tupac's shooting, leaving the label's future uncertain.
Indicates one of violence. You are a danger to the community. Your prior performance on probation was not satisfactory. You committed other crimes while you were on probation. You're not a suitable candidate for probation, in other words, and so therefore probation is denied.
After that, Snoop's faith in Death Row was fading, and he began to look for a way out of Death Row.
My train of thought was, man, I ain't playing with them no more. I've been dealing with this my whole life. I'm gonna find a new leaf to turn.
With Suge's imprisonment, Death Row turned into chaos. Snoop was still legally tied to Death Row, but he couldn't trust anyone as the label was full of gang tension. The Bloods, Suge's Mob Pyru, and the Crips. And at that moment, Snoop was actually broke, had no money because Suge controlled everything. Master P got in touch with Snoop and offered him some money for a paid feature.
Mystical had a song called Gangsta Shit on his album, and he wanted me on it.
And I was like, man, look, what you need?
And I told him I wanted $3,500 because I was broke and I was just like, could he get some money? P gave me a check for $35,000. All right, he put another zero on that motherfucker. It's my kind of nigga. And then he would ask me what I was doing next. And I was about to do an album called Death Row. He was like, hold on, bro, you don't need to do that. Give me a few days, let me figure it out.
No Limit Records were eager to sign Snoop Dogg.
He was signed with Still We Should. Everybody at that time was deadly afraid of shit.
I've never been afraid of no man, you know.
So P goes to Mule Creek Prison.
I met with Suge Knight. What you want for Snoop? Told me what it was, and that was it.
The deal went through and Snoop officially joined No Limit Records in the early 1998. Left the only two artists still signed to Death Row with Daz and Corrupt, aka the Dog Pound. But when Suge also stopped paying them, Daz, who was actually Snoop Dogg's real cousin, sued Suge and left Death Row and started working with Snoop Dogg again. Corrupt then followed Daz. It felt like a fresh start for the Dog Pound and it felt like family was back together again. In late 1996, Dr. Dre released The Aftermath, a compilation showcasing his new label's artists. The album introduced Aftermath but flopped by Dre's standards. Critics called it uneven, and Dre's single Been There Done That failed to make an impact. Suge even enlisted lesser-known Death Row associates to pile on. A songwriter named Jay Flex recorded a parody diss.
Well, not out of spite. If it wasn't for Suge Knight, you'd still be working for Tamiko, right? Do your math before the aftermath.
In a show of spite, Suge put this song on the Death Row Greatest Hits album in 1996, effectively using the label to taunt Dre. Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment finally found its footing by 1998-1999. The turning point was Dre discovering and signing a young Eminem from Detroit.
Hi, my name is...
From prison, Suge Knight continued the rivalry, even as Dr. Dre moved on. In 1999, with Suge still behind bars, he appointed new personnel to run Death Row.
Were you on Death Row when they put out the Chronic 2000?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
That was Suge Knight's idea. He was trying to get back at Dr. Dre.
Right, because Dre was announcing that he was coming out with the Chronic 2000, and then Death Row drops a compilation album called
2001.
The Chronic 2000.
And they got one called Getting Gangsta on the radio. Some bullshit Suge Knight putting together. And then he came with the fake Snoop Dogg and the fake Tupac.
Dre had been planning to title his comeback album The Chronic 2000. So Suge stole the name for his Death Row album. Dre had to rename his own album to 2001, often known as the Chronic 2001, even jokingly adding 2001 to one-up Suge. Chronic 2000 from Suge also contained numerous diss tracks. It featured an Eminem diss by rapper Milkbone.
I'm shouting out to Eminem, gas like mopeds on the mountain. Dre gave you a couple dollars and you a fiend, so why you counting?
Eminem didn't respond, and by 2000, Eminem was Aftermath's new face. And wherever Aftermath went, Suge Knight's shadow wasn't far behind. On October the 31st, 2000, while still behind bars, he dropped Dead Man Walking on an authorized Snoop Dogg album made from old Death Row recordings. Suge determined to get his empire back and also wanted revenge on anyone who'd walked away from Death Row.
He's a informant, he's a rat, a snitch.
In 2001, Suge gets released from jail looking like he's ready for war and heads back to his empty Death Row office ready to take back everything he's lost. Word got around fast that he was coming to sign Corrupt back to Death Row to become the first artist back under Suge's wing.
What's up, man? We live here, man. Exclusive interviews. Motherfucking exclusive. Nigga, they put that on the internet, nigga, and then they took it off.
It was clear Death Row was back in business and Suge wanted revenge.
Corrupt, the newest member of Death Row. He returns back home to daddy. So what you got to say about it? Is it true?
We want $3 million, me and Daz, from the gate.
From who?
No, anybody that's kicking it. Don't play with us. They gotta give us 3 tickets, Del.
Man, I'm not fucking with Death Row.
Man, this ain't about Death Row. This ain't about
It's about that.
But us,
nigga,
3 tickets.
get on your computer right now, nigga, and go check out what they saying right now, nigga. Your fan base is going zoom. Nigga, it's going down on the internet.
Fuck about they fan base. Nigga, give me $3 million. Fuck they fan base.
$3 million ain't shit.
In 2002, Corrupt, one of Snoop's closest brothers from the Dog Pound, re-signed with Death Row, taking a new executive role.
They decided to do it. What the fuck you gonna do about it, punk?
For Snoop, that felt like betrayal. The same label that once trapped him was now trying to rebuild with one of his own.
First, it was like a rumor. Everyone's like, Corrupt is gonna go back to Death Row. And then, like, about a month later, I seen him on TV.
You only got so long as an artist also. You gotta do the next move.
How did you end up being back on the road?
Just talking with the big homie, you know what I mean? He basically was telling me the realest things for my life, which made me want to put my career in his hand.
He had that look on his face like, man, I don't want to be here right now, but I gotta be here right now. When you're down and your record company's non-existent anymore and the only thing you know how to do, you can't even do anymore, and you got that guy in your ear, man.
You know what I'm saying? It was just Suge Knight, you know, doing the little devious things he do, you know?
You can't blame Suge Knight for being the guy that wants to stick his hand out and say, hey, man, I'll help you out.
What's Snoop doing for you? What's this Daz doing for you? You know, he's in his ear when he was down.
I think that if they would have found a way to get Corrupt what he needed to do what he's got to do, it wouldn't have been that. I even told him, if Snoop Dogg and them can't make it happen for you, I go get that money.
Suge just used him, and it didn't matter how much money he was going to pay him. To me, I don't know Suge, and I don't know his relationship with Corrupt, but, man, you can see that shit, that he just used him to just say, fuck you, Dog Pound, fuck Snoop, fuck Daz, look who I got over here.
You know what I mean? I think Suge sometimes, you know, people will, you gotta see both sides of it. You know what I mean? He also showed those guys how to get their money and do what they do and put them on the map. You know what I mean? You can never take that away from that guy.
That shit hurt a lot. That hurt.
Snoop spoke out, saying he was done bowing to Suge's fake power. He wasn't scared anymore, and when he dropped Pimp Slapped in 2002, calling Suge out by name, it was personal. It was the end of his fear and the start of an open
It wasn't
war.
until Snoop came out with the Pimp Slap that it was like, then it was addressed.
Snoop comes hard on Pimp Slapped. He even disses Suge's wife and claims that Suge messed up the industry.
This a bitch like his wife. Suge Knight's a bitch, and that's on my life. Cause you f***ed up the industry.
He even calls out Death Row and comes for Corrupt.
Your rappers and artists tell them, shut it up. Cause I every last one of them up, especially Corrupt.
At the end of Pimp Slap, Snoop played a real voicemail from Big Jim Bob.
Hey, this Big Jim Bob from Capital Poor, homie.
one of Suge's own people who was allegedly tied to the mob Pyru members, exposing Suge's lies.
That nigga ain't never been from the streets, man. I met that nigga in 90, man. That nigga popped up. I don't know where that nigga came from.
With Suge out of jail, the street war between Suge and Snoop was at full swing.
Looking at the moon, Taif and Scar, you know how Bloods do. Yeah, I'm from the West Coast, but I ain't fucking with Snoop.
Street rumours swirled that a full-on gang war between factions loyal to Suge and Snoop could erupt. It was open season on Suge Night and Snoop was firing with both barrels. Suge and Snoop exploded on interviews with disses flying back and forth.
Crooked I be the first out the cage. I got monsters, I don't got no artists.
And please believe he got a big homie that will move on anybody forward. Yeah.
So they in the cage. So when I unlock that cage, Crooked I coming out smashing motherfuckers.
Aiming it at your mama and kids, cause I'm a monster. Snoop Dogg, eat a God stomp you.
And whatever you do, I'm gonna do. However you wanna play, I'm gonna play. You wanna do that, I wanna do it more. It all boils down to the fact that you're jealous how my paper stack. Jealous ass nigga.
You got Eastwood.
Wasn't gangsta enough for the road, spitting envy on your record, Snoop Dogg, you a how could you ever be elite?
All my people is monsters.
I just wanna say Suge Knight's a bitch, and everybody down with him need a mother. Straight up.
Corrupt is something that most people won't do. He said, you know what? I'm admit my wrong. It's nothing like home. So all you other niggas who went the other way, y'all can eat the dick. It's really not about old niggas no more.
Brazil. In Brazil. Yeah, in Brazil. Yeah.
A million Brazilian bitches. They didn't have their turn. They should get the fuck out the game.
In 2002, 50 Cent had signed with Eminem and Dr. Dre, and his debut album Get Rich or Die Trying was ready to explode. In the Club, the album's lead single, was being filmed in Los Angeles in late 2002.
The video was kind of big production, you know what I mean? Dre sent me the record. I don't think he envisioned a club record when he sent it to me, but that's what I did with it. And he did what he did, you know, he sprinkled his little magic on it. Now it's a hit record. You're gonna see. And you see I'm bragging now before it becomes a hit record because I want to make sure you know that I know it was a hit record before it's a hit record.
Dr. Dre and Eminem were on set, as were members of 50's G-Unit crew and Eminem's group D12. The video shoot was underway at LA Warehouse, where the unexpected happened. Suge Knight showed up uninvited, and he didn't come alone.
I was there when Suge Knight came to the video shoot, in the club video.
I remember that, I heard about that.
Yeah, like, it was...
I never heard about that. He came with the Mexican. I heard he put up look. Yeah, I know about it. He came with the 50 Mexicans, and M was out there. M didn't back down. They said came outside. He came with 50 Mexicans.
Yeah.
To say what? What happened?
It was like a standoff. I mean, I know this sounds like a made up movie, but it's really true. Somebody said, Suge Knight here. And 50 I was at the bar, Gang was there. He was shooting in the club scene, and he stopped, and Suge came in with 30 Mexicans, like you said, which is weird, you know what I'm saying?
He always wrong with the Mexicans.
You know what I'm saying? And I just remember Smurf and 50 was like, what's up, man? What you want to do?
Bang him.
Yeah, Bang him was like, what you want to do? And Suge looked at him, and he took a puff of his cigar, and he blew it out, and he did like this. They left.
On the run for In the Club video.
From In the Club? Wait, hold on.
And that was crazy because Suge pulled up with the Mexicans. And man, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't understand. Like, so we in the video, all you heard was, Suge is coming! Yo, bro, Suge is coming! So I'm like, yo, I swear to God, cameras are falling, dancers are running. Lights. Shit is niggas. Everybody's running. Suge is coming. So we couldn't believe it. Like, I'm from New York. I never seen no shit like that. Yo, bro, dancers, the backup dancers are running. Everybody's running this shit. They running. Yo, cameras was falling and shit. Cameraman, Suge is coming. Yo, bro. So, you know, we like, damn, you know, this is Suge Knight. But this is why I always respected Eminem, 50, and that was with us. So Suge came, he had some Mexicans. Now we from New York. You ain't never seen a with a tattoo on his forehead. 118th Street crew. I'm like, what the f? Got a tattoo on his face, homie. That's the first time, like before Lil Wayne and all that. That's the first time I seen a nigga with like tattoo on his eyes. Mexican 18th Street. So just Suge just got the cigar. He just like that. He's like a pressure guy. That's why he got into the shit he got into lately, because he's like a pull up, light a cigar, and you seeing tattoos on their face, but we like, damn, what we got to lose? If we don't pop now, we going back to the hood. It's back to the hood. So it's like, fight these Mexican blood killer. He's got the shit on their forehead, eyes. 118th. Or go back home to the crib. Might as well go all out, fight right here. Just lights the cigar, and it's the shit about Suge. He light the cigar, and he trying to see what you gonna do. So Eminem, 50, everybody outside, light the cigar. I was bugging because I seen, this is when I knew Eminem was real. He's like, I don't give a f***, man. This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real these niggas 50 outside, what's up? And then Suge just walked away. The Mexican looked kind of confused, like they didn't know what's going on. But came outside. Eminem came outside 100%.
The focus instead fell on 50 Cent and Eminem, who were the prime targets by being signed to Aftermath, and became another one of Suge's scare tactics due to their prominence under Dre. The bad blood may have been behind a notorious assault on Dr. Dre at the 2004 Vibe Awards.
Could have used the police chiefs last night at the Vibe Awards. You see what happened? Dr. Dre actually got punched in the face right before accepting his Lifetime Achievement Award. Sal, you were there. What happened?
What happened was I was standing back to the side. It was the funniest thing when I turned around. Russell Simmons and Kevin Lyles were behind me like, Sal, what's happening? Because they thought they would get shot at first. But what happened is a guy walked over to Dr. Dre and asked for an autograph right before he was about to go up on stage. And the next thing you know, this guy started punching Dre in the face. And then Dre jumped on him, and then his crew jumped on them. Now that crew right there is G-Unit, which was sitting in front of him.
As Dr. Dre was about to receive his Lifetime Achievement Award, a man approached him who we now know as Jimmy Johnson.
Let me get your autograph. That's why he wasn't so quick to give me an autograph. His first reaction was,
Dre jump up like, pop, pop, pop. I'm like, they done rush my nigga, cuz. The hate is thick, cuz. Anytime you got a bunch of niggas in the game that's doing what's right, and you got a few niggas that can't get their shit right, they hate. So there's a lot of hate going on right now, but it's gonna be all right. This is a Quincy Jones situation, cuz niggas should respect Quincy enough to not trip on it like that. This is a Quincy Jones situation, cuz niggas is disrespecting cuz they ain't got no respect for the game in general, cuz. You need to kick them bitch ass niggas out that trip.
The attacker was allegedly stabbed by G-Unit's young buck in the aftermath.
I just seen Dre doing this shit, you know what I mean? Going for what he could, you know what I mean, at the time. But I just seen him getting down, you know what I mean, with a motherfucker. Well, Dre was handling this shit, but it's only so much you can do with a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? That's your same size or bigger. And it's 2-3 of these motherfuckers, so I was shit, man. We done anything that I had to do. After whatever went on, man, I had a fork in my hand, you know?
Billboard and other outlets reported police were investigating Suge Knight's involvement in the brawl, with some sources claiming the attacker admitted he was paid $5,000 by Suge Knight to hit Dr. Dre. Suge denied orchestrating the attack.
And I'm standing up, looking, I can see, and I then turn, and Suge was like, what happened over there? What happened over there? And I was like, oh, man. Right? Like, I ain't had nothing to do with it, Sal. I'm over here standing with you. And I'm like, oh.
But many in the industry saw it as a final attempt at revenge. This violent episode showed that even nearly a decade after Dr. Dre left Death Row, the animosity had not fully died. After Dre got out of the brawl, he walked up on stage and collected his Lifetime Achievement like nothing happened.
When the shit jump off, like, nigga, I wish these niggas would try to rush me with these church shoes on. I wish they would. Ain't nobody up here with me but Quincy Jones. He got a half a leg too. He up there like this. Like, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it, Q. Kick back. It's cool, cuz. No, you said that's not. Yeah, that's it's cool, Q. And I see Dre jump up like, pop, pop, pop. I'm like, they done rush my nigga, cuz. And I see this punk nigga back here laughing.
Sitting back here bouncing and laughing while Dre squabbling and Dre security rushing. And it's like 4 fights break out right here, one over here, one over here. Then the nigga get, Oh, somebody got stabbed up in there? Walk out that motherfucker like this, and they rushing back into the little curtain. Knock it. I'm up there like this. Here come my boy.
In the years that followed, the conflict never really disappeared. After legal troubles, including the fatal hit-and-run case, Suge Knight claimed old enemies were still working against him, pointing towards people connected to Dr. Dre. Authorities never supported those claims, and no court ever tied Dre to any plot.
Did Dr. Dre put a hit out on Suge Knight? We know that they actually had an ugly falling out when Dre left Death Row Records. The lawsuit is Suge Knight just sued him saying that Dre took a hit out on Suge for 2 things. One, remember when Suge got shot 7 times in the abdomen at One Oak? Suge is saying that Dre is the one who ordered the hit, and then he's also saying that he ordered that Dre had one of the guys who was run over by Suge. His job was to kill Suge for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Suge is saying this is all over Beats by Dre, that Suge was supposed to get 25% of everything that Dre made for life.
He said he had a lifetime management contract
and he was entitled to, what, $300 million?
$300 million because the Beats deal was up around $1 billion. So in order to get out of that $300 million, Suge is alleging that he was targeted by Dre. A lawyer from Dre says that given that Dre has had 0 interaction with Suge since leaving Death Row Records in 1996, we hope that Suge's lawyer has lots of malicious prosecution insurance. Wow.
What began as a split inside Death Row Records had turned into something deeper. Years of suspicion that neither side truly let go of. By the mid-2000s, the outcome was already written. Death Row faded into lawsuits and prison sentences. Aftermath kept building a new generation, from Eminem to 50 Cent and beyond.